Hi, my name is Dustin Perry. I'm PDJ number 36224. I'm originally from Cedartown, Georgia, but I currently live in Augusta, Georgia. As my bag, I'm kind of one of those guys, Army guy, so that's why I gravitated towards the ACU pattern there. And essentially that's why I'm in Augusta, Georgia. I've been playing disc golf since about 2008. I've been playing pro since about 2010. And the reason I joined Prodigy is because when I first got into disc golf, there was one guy out there, Phil Arthur. I really loved what he was doing. The guy could throw right hand, left hand, but it's more his character which drew me to him. And so not only I'd be more inclined to follow someone character-wise than I would be disc golf-wise. So when those two marry up and he has his company, right, Prodigy, I'm naturally going to gravitate towards that. Now in terms of what's in my bag, I'll start with my putters. My putters that I putt with is a PA4, and I'll putt with this mainly because I'm not a spin putter. I'll just kind of loft it out there, and this one holds a pretty straight line for me, so I don't have to really think, hey, do I got to putt and account for the 6 inches hyzer that it's going to do. It's pretty much aim for the pole, go for the pole. Then I have an older 300 PA4. This one has hit plenty of trees. It's not really getting misshapen, I guess, but it's definitely put it out there. It's always gonna go Anheuser, but it's my Anheuser for real short shots. I'd say 150, even less. I can put it out there and I know it's gonna go a little Anheuser, and even shorter shots, 100, 120. It's just put it out there, it's gonna go dead straight. I have a 300 PA2. Now this is gonna be a lot more stable than my PA4. I can put this one about 250 feet. I can put it farther, but I'm not a player I'm not trying to throw putters 400 feet. I'm playing to more their speed. So 250 is probably the max I'm gonna go with putters, just how I feel comfortable with. But this one has hit plenty of trees. It's well seasoned. It's definitely a straight shot. And then I also have a newer 300 PA2, which I would throw this one instead of the previous one, only if there's a little bit of headwind, if I need to account for that, 5-10 feet of left hyzer I'm gonna get, and then I would throw that one. But like I said, I'm not trying to crush putters, so if I need to go a little further, I would throw mid-range. So with my mid-ranges, I have a 750 M4. This is more 250, 330, definitely a woods type disc for me. I can put it straight and I have complete confidence it's going dead straight. But if I throw it a little harder, I also have confidence that it's going to do a nice little Anheuser for me. But just a nice subtle Anheuser, one of those that's going to land flat and just smooth, not your dump over and roll and go wherever it wants to. If I want something a little more stable, I will throw a 400 SM3. And this is probably 325, just straight. Even if there's a little bit of headwind, I can put this out there, and I'm pretty confident. I know for a fact it's really going dead straight. And if there's not a lot of wind, I can really account for probably 15 feet of little hyzer at the end, and that's when I would throw that one. Now my overstable mid-range is my Proto M1. Love this disc. I could throw this one again, probably your 330 to 280, 330 range. But because this one's really overstable, I know that when I put it out there, it's going left. There's no question about it. It's going left. Great disc. Being from Augusta, I mainly play woodsy courses, and I fan grip everything. That's why my bag is really putter, mid-range, fairway heavy. And so with my fairways, I'll start understable again. I go a 400 F7. And this is pretty much my roller disc, or just an extreme, 350, 400 foot. If I got the high though, it's like a high Anheuser. But it's primarily my roller disc, especially if I got to throw a roller and get it on the ground rolling real fast with a low ceiling. That's when I throw that one. I also have another 400 F7. This one's a little more stable. I can put it out there for a shorter shot, maybe a low ceiling, like 300 feet. I would throw this one, it would go straight. But if I was throwing a little further, maybe 350, 360, This one I can account for. It's going to go straight with a little bit of anhyzer. To me, it's just a little longer version of the M4. And then my favorite disc is a 750 M5. The F5 in general is my favorite disc. It's probably my 350 foot shot, but this disc holds dead straight, assuming there's no wind, or a little bit of wind. But it's a dead straight tonal shot for me. I mean, if I had one disc to take on a course, this is probably it, to be honest with you. And then I have another F5, this red one. This is, I'd say, a little bit more flippy, no, a little bit more stable, excuse me, than the other F5, the 750. But this one, if there's any headwind, maybe up to 15 miles an hour, I'll throw this one 350-ish. And if there's no headwind, then this is my shot for straight and account for a little 15 foot of, you know, hyzer skip at the end. Now, if it is windy, I will throw an F1. This is definitely my headwind fairway shot. It's not, I'm not crushing this disc. I'm not trying to go 450 with it. Then it'll definitely turn into more of a straighter, maybe a little bit anhyzer if I try to go 450. I've had this in the bag for 8 months or so, but it's still, you know, 360, 400, dead straight with a headwind. If there's no headwind, this is my shot where I'm trying to go straight for 300 feet and then play a skip, assuming, you know, the grass or the ground plays for that. So that'd be that disc. Now moving on to my drivers, I will throw a D4, and this is my max distance with a tailwind. It's a pretty straight to flippy disc, so again, I do need a tailwind, and it's, regardless of the wind, it's really gonna be an anhyzer. Now, if it's a tailwind, it's gonna be less of an anhyzer, obviously. And I also do long rollers with it. But what I really use the disc for, and I primarily use it for, is just my forehand shot. And I like to just, because it's so flippy, I just put on a little hyzer, it pops up, and this is probably my 400 foot flick disc, but there has to be no wind. If there is wind, I will use a 400 D2. Same shot, 400 feet or so on a forehand, assuming there's headwind. On a backhand, this is probably, if there is 15 miles an hour headwind, this is my max D disc. Also, it holds pretty straight, so even if it requires a 450, 460 foot shot, I can throw this one down a line and it'll hold it. Now, if I need an overstable shot, something to combat headwind, I'm going with a D1. Any spike hyzer around trees, probably gonna throw this D1 too. And this will hold up to 25, 30 mile an hour headwind, trying to throw it 450 or so. I will forehand it occasionally, but again, that's just dictated on the wind. If I'm a little uncertain that my D2 will kind of flip over in the wind, I'm just gonna throw a D1. I don't throw it very much, but I do throw an X1. And like I said, I don't throw it much, and I really only keep it in the bag is for that what if disc. Hey, what if I travel to a course and there's a 45 mile an hour headwind and there's, you know, water that I'm worried about? I'll throw this one. It's not gonna roll over on me. I don't care what kind of wind I throw it in. It's not gonna go far either. But, you know, if that's a play safe, put it in the fairway, that's the disc for that, for heavy headwind. Now I skipped them, and they're more utility discs for me, but I do throw a 750 H4, and these are just, because the width of the rim, I feel a lot more comfortable forehanding it versus like an M4 or a mid-range. And this will be my short sidearm. If I'm in the woods, just stand still, I throw it probably 150 to 250. I can throw it a little further too, but mainly that range, that's what I feel comfortable flicking. And again, it's just the width of the rim, how it fits in my hand, and I'll just hyzer it, it'll flip up, you know, and then go dead straight. Now, if I do want it, if I'm in the woods, I can also throw it a little harder. If I throw it flat, it will pan out into a low anhyzer. The more stable hybrid I'll throw is a 750 H2. Now this, I don't throw it a lot, but I do throw it if I'm in the woods and I'm gonna flick. If I'm not comfortable in terms of the stability of an H4, I'll just throw this one on a little bit of anhyzer. I know it's definitely gonna come out of it, ride a little straight, and then dump. And I'll also backhand it, but I don't backhand it very much because I feel a lot more comfortable with an F1. So I just typically throw an F1. But if there's a little more wind, I'm a little unsure that an F1's not as overstable as I want it to be, then I'll just use an H2. And that's my bag. And my bag right now, I'm currently just sporting the grip bag, but you know, as team members get their bags, I'm definitely transitioning into another bag, the Prodigy team bag. Thank you.